What's up, everybody? This is Henry Clopton, Team 11 Sports, born to compete with NBC. And I got a special guest with me. I got the one and only Morehouse head coach, football head coach at that, Rich Freeman. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're here. So, look, before we get into, how well you've been doing over the season over there at Morehouse, I got to talk about your background. You went to Crim High School, right?
Correct.
Have you ever, let that Crim attitude, that Atlanta, that real come out on the football field while you're coaching?
Oh, absolutely. They say once it's in you, it's in you. I'm definitely proud of our Crim and everything. We had an all-star staff over there, and they did a really good job with all the kids that came through. So, yeah, I use it from time to time.
Okay. So I know back then, you played a little ball. You played high school, played Tennessee State, linebacker. You earned some awards out there. When did you know that coaching was your calling?
I tell you, at Crim,
Really?
a figure for me was my head coach. Back then, Coach William Lester. He was a strong father figure for me, and I said to myself, I want to kind of follow into his footsteps, and was lucky enough to get the job at Morehouse and even hire him as a consultant once I did so.
So you're 15 years in. This is 10th year at Morehouse College. Talk to me about the success you guys are having over there. I mean, you guys are 5-0. It's your best start since the 2010 season. What's going on? What's in the pot? What you cooking up there?
Well, 12th season in,
Okay.
and actually going into my 23rd season coaching. But the Lord has been good to us. We definitely run a well-disciplined football program, and we have some really good players, some obedient players. They lack all this arrogance and some of those things that could keep you from being a good program. So we're blessed to have good kids, good coaches, and hey, it's Morehouse College. We can attract some of the top talent in the country because of the history and tradition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell me some of the differences between this 2018 team and, you guys kind of stumbled and struggled last year. So what are some of the big differences between those two teams?
I think our ability to avoid mistakes, turnovers, and that comes with discipline and obedience. We had some pretty strong juniors last year, and they were biting at the bit, waiting to get into the leadership position, and they did so. And they're now seniors, and they're leading the team. And our incoming freshman class, sophomores, they look up to them. They give our players that positive role model that I had when I played as a high school kid and as a college player. And that's needed because, where there's no direction, your team, anybody can go astray.
Good, man. Good. That's good to hear. So from a student's perspective, I used to go to Morehouse College, and on our side, we looking at, from the outside in, we're thinking Morehouse College just can't get it together. But people don't really realize the backstory and how long you've been fighting for that program, for support, for all these, different reasons so that you could be successful in your endeavors. Kind of talk to me about, how hard it's been trying to change the landscape, in the culture of Morehouse football.
Well, first and foremost, we definitely have a outstanding president now in Dr. David Thomas. And he has, we have his full support. We have a great athletic director in Andre Patillo. And, yeah, it has been somewhat of a struggle because dating back even to 2008 when we had the market crash, I think all HBCUs were affected. And quite naturally, one of the first areas they look to cut funding is athletics, those areas that don't appear to be vital areas. But let me say this, I've watched programs like Vanderbilt University, University of North Carolina, Duke University, Stanford, Harvard. I think we need to take a strong look at some of these institutions that have academic prominence and as well as athletic dominance. Yep. And we need to, try to follow that floor plan, so to speak. And that's been something that I've been preaching to the administrations. And they're listening. We just got to try to see if we can engage the alums and engage sponsors and donors and get everybody on board. And I think we'll all be happy at the end of the day.
Hey, man, well, I'm happy so far, and I hope that it continues, the success over there. But it's week 6. It's week 6, Coach. Y'all got Tuskegee coming up, and history has shown that Tuskegee has always been that struggle week. you know, in week 6. So what is it going to take this week 6 around? You guys are 5-0. You got the momentum behind you. What do you guys have to do to win?
And this is a familiar place for me. We were 5-0 back in 2011, and we had that 5-0 win streak snapped by Tuskegee University. Same the same exact situation. And I think the only different thing now, the reason we failed back then was because we didn't fall to the football team. We didn't fall to the football program. We fell at the feet of the history and tradition of the school. That's their history, which is to have dominance primarily in the football program. So we have to be able to get our kids, our young men, to play the game for 60 minutes, to play within our philosophy, which is to play fast, hard, and smart, and not get blindsided by their tradition. It's nothing we can do. We can't go back and dispel how many games they've won over the last 100 years. And it's a lot more than we've won at Morehouse. But traditions have to begin somewhere, and that's what we're going to push. We're going to try to break that this weekend.
Hey, man, y'all, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tight one. Give me some of the key players that have to step up in this week 6 matchup.
Well, I'm very proud of our guys. We have a lot of really, if you haven't gotten a chance to come out to see us, it's one thing I can guarantee is an exciting football game. We have some very explosive kids on the offensive end. Sophomore running back, Santo Dunn, he's lighting it up. I mean, he's leading our conference in rushing by 200, maybe 300 yards. I mean, he could miss 2 games and still be at the top. I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of our quarterback. We affectionately call him Mikey Nice, but his name is Mike Sims, and I'm most proud of his ability to be careful with the football. That's the most responsible position on the field is quarterback. And he only has 2 turnovers at this point, 2 interceptions, and somewhere north of 10 touchdown passes. So that's responsibility. I'm proud of our offensive line, Amir Smith, receiver that we have, and everybody up front on that defensive side of the ball. You know, so they're really getting after it, and our coaching staff is doing a really good job. And I just think the sky's the limit, and we're happy.
All right, that's good, Coach, man. Look, so is it safe to say that we have to put some respect on Morehouse athletics, Morehouse football's name? Is it safe to say that?
Well, I really think that coming behind a historic basketball season, I think that basketball program lit fire to our tails on last season. They did it in a genuine, humble fashion, and that's what we're all about within our program. I think the respect is already there. I think our body of work over the past 12 seasons, we've had a few bad seasons, but in 12 years, we've only had 4 losing seasons in 12 years. Just doesn't seem that way because, maybe 3 of the 4 have come recently. But, I think the sky's the limit. I think we already have the respect. I think what we have to do now is spark the intrigue of the citizens here in Atlanta. We got to get people to pack the stadium and see what type of product that we have. I think everybody would be surprised if they came out and just called a game.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to tell you that much. I'm going to be there. So, look, Coach, I got to end you off with this one. I know you're from Atlanta, right?
That's true.
Natural Atlanta Falcon fan, right?
I am, to the core.
I just need you to, from a coach's perspective, what is wrong with the situation in Atlanta? Because right now, Morris Brown can outscore I mean, what's going on with them?
Well, I really like that staff over there. I got a chance to work with the fellowship with the Falcons this offseason right before our fall camp. Let me tell you that those coaches are very talented. I had a chance to sit down with Coach Dan Quinn one-on-one, and he shared a lot of things that are helpful right now with our program. So, we just need to be patient. The injury bug has hit them in an unprecedented way. Thankfully, some of the guys are not done for the season. I think as that team starts to repair and heal and get back together, I think we're going to make a strong push down the road in late October and early November. And if and when we get into the playoffs, I think we'll be a team to be reckoned with.
I hope so, man. We're going to be watching. But look, man, that's our time here. I want to thank Rich Freeman, coach of Morehouse football. If you don't know, check out them on Saturday. They're going to be playing Tuskegee. Is that going to be home or what?
It's going to be in Columbus. It's a Tuskegee Morehouse Classic.
Ooh,
The 83rd
83rd?
Classic. Yes.
83rd Classic. But once again, man, thank you so much for coming here, Coach. It was a pleasure, my pleasure. Henry Clouds, once again, Born to Compete. We're out.